Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates, and I've been having some fun decoupaging today, and I thought maybe I'll turn the camera on and you can craft along with me. I've been getting a beautiful collection of different napkins, and I even have some, what's it called, rice paper and some decoupage paper and just different things that I've been wanting to collage and make into some nice paper for journals and packaging. And so earlier I opened up a big envelope that I had. We got our driver's license, our license plates were in this white parchment paper envelope. So I opened it up and traced it onto parchment paper. And I got the parchment paper just from the Dollar Tree. There's glare, I'm sorry. It wasn't quite wide enough, so I had to kind of piece up some of it together. And so I had to put just the flap here, I had to add, so it doesn't fold into an envelope as nicely as I would like it to. So it'll need a little tweaking, but since there's just this border here, I thought I would put a little lace trim. I'm going to cut this off. I don't need that. So I'll put a little lace trim here and here. Then it'll close up nicely into a pretty envelope. But I put all kinds of different things. Doily and some of these little parchment paper roses, but I don't really like that they have a white border. I tried to fussy cut around one of them. I don't see where I put it now. And I like how you can see the dictionary paper through the actual napkin. And then I also tried some washi tape, and that stuck down pretty well. So anyway, that's all I'm doing today, is I'm just kind of having fun with various ways of decoupaging things. And for those that don't know, I'm having my birthday challenge going on right now. It's called a friendship journal, where people are sending me one page for my journal, and there's still time to enter if you'd like. I don't have any new entries to share with you today until I go to the mailbox. Maybe there'll be some there, so just thought I'd mention it in case you'd like to join in. It has been really fun, and I greatly appreciate the new subscribers and those of you who have already sent me a journal entry. They've been so gorgeous, and I've just been really grateful for your participation. But I want to get to this decoupaging because I can use these in my journals and in like gift bags and things like that. So one way that I saw somebody decoupage was to take a napkin and actually put it right onto fabric. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this, except you know what, might be pretty to put a background on it first. Do I want to do that? No, I think I'll go ahead because I think it'll show through. So I have a big jar of this Mod Podge, and I like the satin or the matte finish, and I just grabbed this because it was really marked down at Walmart. And I tend to be pretty heavy-handed with this, so you may not need this much. It's just me. But I'm going to try putting it here on the canvas. It's just like a lightweight, really nice cotton fabric that I think was a table mat. And I probably won't keep the fringe on the bottom. I'll probably cut that off. It just depends on what I use this for, because it could be a sweet journal cover. And then I'm just going to carefully lay this onto fabric and give it a little press. And I think I need a little bit more down here. And we'll see how this adheres. This is just me kind of trying the Mod Podge with different materials. And then, rather than rubbing it, I saw someone take a piece of saran wrap or plastic wrap and just lay it on top of the napkin to smooth it so that it doesn't tear, which I thought was a great idea. So I'm going to do that to keep it from getting wrinkles or tears. And I think the more you press, the better, because it'll sort of meld into the fibers of the fabric. At least I hope so. So there we go. Sweet image of two little girls. They could be best friends or sisters. Really cute. I think these napkins, I ordered some once, but I also had some gifted to me. These might be the ones from Shaz. Hi Shaz, at Crafted Seasons. So I wanted to spend some time decoupaging onto envelopes and fabric, and that way I'll have things ready to go in my journal. And sometimes making journals, the longest part of the whole process is the prep time. And I don't want to just stop and say, oh, I need to go decoupage a napkin, an envelope. I want to be able to have it ready to go. So there, that's on. It looks like it's stuck down really well. So I'm going to move that one to the side and give it some time to dry. And I don't know about you, but I have this thing for the sound of parchment paper. I just love that crinkly, crunchy sound. So this is tea-dyed parchment paper, and I want to decoupage onto that. And then once whatever I collage and layer on here is dry, then I'm going to open an envelope and use it as a template and cut out my own little parchment paper envelopes. And I may have to go get my big jar of Mod Podge before it's all said and done, because I might be using all of this up. I just love smoothing this stuff out. It's kind of like putting on icing or something. Maybe painting, but I think I like the idea of icing better. So anyway, it's a warm summer day here in North Carolina. I think it's going to be 90 today, which it could be warmer, so I'm not going to complain, especially since last year at this time I was in 120 degree weather in Arizona. We really only got a couple of days that high, but it certainly was much hotter there. Even though they say it's a dry heat, I don't think I buy it. So this is covered enough now. I'm going to go ahead and stick down this, let me see if I have the packaging this comes in. I don't think I brought it over here, but it is specifically sold as decoupage paper. But I think it's just a slightly heavier weight than tissue paper. So when I rub on this, it doesn't peel as like it would if it were tissue paper. It's not as delicate, but I'm still going to lay this over the top and press. And I love this vintagey color. I'm looking for the package, but I guess I didn't bring it over here. So on this one, I think I'm going to do some layering of other patterns and images. I like the, when people send me entries, especially lately, the journal pages are just so beautiful with the collaging and the layering and the stitching and the different textures. Some of them have paper and fabric and lace. So that's kind of what I'm going for with the decoupage. And I'll show you here. I have a whole pile of different things that I'm hoping to, I'm gonna have glue all over me now, add to this. These are tea dyed doilies. This one almost has like a plastic feeling on top, even though it's not plastic. It's a bluish color. These were yellow, and I think I might add some of that. So I just have all kinds of things to fish through here and potentially glue down. And when I tea dye, sometimes the things on the bottom get that really dark color. A lot of people like that. I don't mind it on fabric, but I don't like it on the paper. So anyway, I'm going to add this. And I decided that when it's paper to paper like this, first I'll put glue stick on it, because at this point I don't need, oops, I just tore it, shoot. Oh well, I just have to be a little more gentle. I just need it to be tacked down into place first, and then I can put Mod Podge over the top. That's my thinking anyway. So this is just an Elmer's glue stick, and I hope to get to stick down there if it'll behave. There we go. It's a little uneven. Okay, so I have that yellow piece of doily on there, and then I have some more here that I think, I don't know, I'll just lay it there for now because I'm not sure if that's where I want to put it. And there's a really pretty blue and white napkin here, but all I really want is the butterfly for now. And rather than cutting it out really perfect, oh, I just tore him. Is there one more anywhere else? No. So I have to re-tear that. Okay. And then I'm going to stick him down. I don't know where. And then I also want some, I have some of this dictionary paper, which I think would be pretty. What else? Maybe some, I have this music note paper, but that pink is kind of too bright for my liking, so I think I'll stick to this for now. And again, I'm just gonna glue stick it down. Sorry I'm not in frame, but I will be in a second. Okay, so I'll stick some of this down. And this is some vintage dictionary paper from a German dictionary. I know no German whatsoever, except maybe, I won't even say it because I think that was Dutch that I was just about to say. So I'll leave it to those that are fluent and can teach me. And let's see, I need to peel this apart. Can I do it without the tape is the question. I think I can. Yes, I can. So I'm just going to peel this first layer off gently. And, oh, it tore. Bummer. Where should we put it? Let's put it right here. A little glue stick. Just enough to get it to stick. And I need some right here. And if I haven't already said it, I just want to say thank you to my new subscribers. I think I did, but it's really special that you would want to click that subscribe button, seeing that I'm not doing a whole lot special over here except crafting along with you all. Some of you may not know I am an art teacher by profession, but right now I teach pottery as my main job. I was substitute teaching, and now I'm just teaching pottery, and I teach at a wonderful facility called Clayworks. I do have a video. I think it says my career or my profession or something like that, but if you want to scoot over and see what I do during regular work hours, that's what I do, and I absolutely love my job. I'm very grateful to get to do what I love and get paid for it. That's rare. But lately I have just been having so much fun with paper crafting and fabric crafting. My clay has not been the biggest priority, but I do still create, and I actually have finished one of my fairy houses that I started in a video, and I said I would come back and show it to you finished, and I finished it. So I think I'll bring it home tomorrow and maybe do a video over the weekend so that you can see the finished one. Anyway, so there is the yellow butterfly decoupaged on, and I don't know, this is probably one of those processes where you just kind of feel your way through. So I may just stop the camera, add a few more things, and then start another process with you. I don't want you to be bored. I'm going to peel this up. This is just some script washi tape, and I think it'd be fun to add that. Oops. So that needs to stick down. So yeah, I've been talking for about 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is stop the camera and finish my layering, and then I'll show you what I came up with. Okay, so I end up having to open my big jar of Mod Podge here, and I finished laying out a design. It kind of ended up looking a lot like the first one I just did as far as collaging goes, just different colors, but I think I'm happy with it, and so I'm going to just go over it now with a nice coat of Mod Podge. And this time I'm not going to be too heavy-handed, but I am going to put some on all of it. And this little circle right here is a piece of fabric. I had a few images on some real lightweight fabric. I'll show you. And these I've used in small doily books, but I printed those on some fabric, so I thought let's try decoupaging some fabric onto the paper as well. I have a feeling you can just layer whatever you want, and we'll see how it dries. I don't want to scrub too hard because I do think it would still tear. So I basically just anchored everything down with the glue stick, and now I'm sealing it with the Mod Podge. And I'm not really calling this a tutorial because, like I said, even though I'm a teacher, I'm just kind of crafting with you and just seeing how it goes. I'm not really teaching, because I think when you're teaching you know exactly what you're doing and you want to teach that to other people. But everybody has certain ways of doing this, and I'm just finding my own way here. And it's fun. I love layering anyway. When it comes to fashion, I'm not a fashionista. I love pattern mixing. I think it was 2015-16 when pattern mixing really came back with the flowers and the plaids and the prints, and I was all about that. I love it. So there it is. It's all covered with Mod Podge. I'm going to set this aside to give it some time to dry. And I started another one. Some call it a glassine bag. I call it a wax paper bag. And I covered it with some lace, just some real sheer lace, front and back. That purple is just glue stick that needs to dry. The color goes away after it dries. So I glue sticked it down, glue stuck it down, glue sticked it down, I don't know. And I have this rice paper. I bought a few pieces of this a while ago. I may have even shown it in a haul video. Let's see if I can get this flap to come off. There we go. And rice paper has some fibers in it. I think it makes it a little more durable. But it's very elegant paper to me. I just find it just another one of those textures that I really enjoy. And I love that these are poppies. I found some poppy washi tape, but I also found some poppy ribbon. And at some point maybe I'll do like a themed journal with poppies as the main theme. But for now, I'm gonna dive in. I've kind of been hoarding this. It's by Stamperia, and I don't even remember where I ordered this. It was some random website, and I was just really taken by it. They had so many varieties, and since funds were limited at the time, I couldn't just go crazy ordering, but I did get 2 others. I didn't bring them over here, but at some point I'll probably order from them again. It came quickly, shipping wasn't that expensive, and I don't think these were actually that expensive. They might have been like $3 or $4 a sheet. Is that a lot? I don't even know. But I don't use it much, so I thought for as much as I'll use it, that's not a bad price. I'm just kind of picking at it, getting it have a slightly torn edge look. And I don't even know if I should, because it's going to go on white lace, which means it may not show up very well. So I won't bother with doing that. Let's see, how about, I think I'm going to just keep this one pretty simple. This is pretty. No, I think I'm just going to keep it really simple. I'm going to put this in the corner. I'm going to put this circle piece down to the side of it. This is just really fun. Oh, I just love cutting and gluing. We grew up crafting. My sister and I always had some kind of art project going, and I just really appreciate my mom for letting us be as creative as we wanted to. She always encouraged our creative outlet, and she didn't mind clutter. We had certain areas that we had to keep nice and tidy, but for the most part, the kitchen table, and then we had like a folding table near the living room, or we would just craft outside on the porch. So crafting's always been really fun for us, and yeah, so I try to do the same, though my boys don't seem very interested in crafting. They have different niches that we try to support. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down, and I think I'll do the same with the glue stick. I really like the crunchy sound of the bag, but I think I made it soften to the noise of the bag by adding the lace. But that's okay. And you know what? I think I'm gonna change the positioning of this and have it go this way, because I see myself putting a slightly heavier piece of lace down there, and then this piece here, and this is going to fold over, and I'm going to add some more lace and trim there. So I think I like it better this way. I'm going to be putsy and still give it a slightly torn edge, because I just like that. I don't want it to look too sharp. It kind of softens it a little bit this way. It's a little harder to pull apart because of the fibers that are in the paper. There we go. Can you see that? See those fibers? Makes it a little tougher. And it says poppy this way, but I swear the flower looks upside down. But I want it to read the right direction. So I'm going to put it the correct way the wording goes, which is that way. I'll pull it down just a teeny bit more. There we go. And stick it down. Hopefully it'll stay. And did I bring any more lace over? I thought I did. Well, I did, but it's not white. It's kind of off-white. Oh, I'm going to stick this on there. Or do I want to stick on... I don't know if I'm going to worry with the flap just now. I'm going to go ahead and cover it with some Mod Podge. I'm going to be very excited to see how these dry and what texture they have after they dry. I've seen artists take rice paper and Mod Podge it onto fabric, and it has a nice durable kind of stiff feeling. So it just depends on, I guess, what you're going for, but I like a variety of textures. I don't really like it glossy, but this isn't sticking, so I'm going to slip that up and put a little Mod Podge underneath. Ah, see, it's all falling apart. That's okay. I think it'll, after it rests for a minute, it'll stick. It's been my experience so far anyway. So get more on the back here. And stick it back down. The glue stick didn't really want to hold on this. So we'll let this rest and give it a little more drying time. And I probably will have to put another coat, but I still think it's going to be pretty, so I'm going to leave it for a second. So another one that I thought I would try decoupaging on is a vellum envelope. And again, it has that waxy feel to it. So I'm not exactly sure how this will go, but I'd like to try. And I have this napkin that has some lavender colors in it and lilacs. And again, a little Parisian theme with the Eiffel Tower. And so I think I'll try to keep this one somewhat simple by just Mod Podging over the whole napkin. And this is just 2 layers, so that's good. It's just a little cocktail napkin. And I think it's going to help me out by being the opposite direction on the other side, so that'll be good. I won't have to flip it over. And for this one, I think I'll just go ahead and put the Mod Podge on and not pre-stick it with the glue stick. Just cover the whole thing. Now this is vellum. I hope it doesn't curl up. I've noticed that it likes to try to curl up, but maybe it won't. So it's all covered, and then I'll try to get this somewhat centered. And flat. And then I'm going to get my saran wrap. Yeah, it's trying to curl up on me. Oh, don't curl, please. And I'll try to smooth it. It's sticking. There we go. See if I can get that to smooth out. Like so. This really is a fun way to use your napkins and get beautifully decorated embellishments. I also discovered that it doesn't take too terribly long to dry. So I'm going to flip it over. The only thing is, I don't have another napkin like this. Well, let's see. Maybe we can piece it together. Like so. This one there. This one there. Where there's a will, there's a way. We'll make it work. Yeah, I think what I'll do here is add, I think I have some more purpley something. Let's see. I think instead of purple, I'm going to put some of these flowers along this edge. That might be kind of pretty. Actually, I'll stick the napkin on first, and then layer the flowers over the top. Oops, I'm sorry. I don't know if you could see what I was doing or not. This is just kind of random as we go, so I hope you don't mind. Stick that down there, and then add this here, and whatever is too big or overlapping I can trim off later. And I don't really mind that it's not perfectly matching up or anything like that. It's not as important. I'll just tear that off because I'll be trimming it anyway and putting more Mod Podge on it. So I'll trim some of this off, leave a little bit for overlap. Right here. Oops. Oh, that worked okay. And I don't even need the flowers, I don't think. I might still figure a way to work those in because I like them. And just fold this over. Yeah, and then all I have to do is Mod Podge on top of this napkin. once it's drier, because it's curling and crinkling. So I'm learning a little bit about what vellum will do when you try to Mod Podge on it. And it's not a bad thing, it's just, you gotta know it's gonna want to curl up. This looks quite pretty. And I think I'll have to think about what else I'd like to do to this, but for now, let's see how much of this needs covering up. So there's just a little bit there that I can easily use the rest of this for. I'll just get some on here. I don't want the Eiffel Tower sideways though, so I'm going to piece this on. Like this. And that'll work out fine because when it's dry, I'll go over it one more time. Oh, my thumb just peeled that completely off. Here's a piece that'll work. That will work. Okay. So nobody's going for perfection here. I always tell my students, perfect is boring unless you're building a bridge or a house. Then I guess you probably want to go for perfect as best you can. Alright. So this one is covered. It didn't take too long. When it's a little more dry, I'll trim off the ragged edges. Or maybe I can do it now. The reason I wait is because I just don't want to get sticky glue on my scissors. But I think I'll go ahead and trim it off. Okay, I guess we don't need a whole lesson on how to trim. So, it needs a little more Mod Podge under there. And that's going to work great for a journal envelope. And I like the color. I have to stop thinking everything has to be tea dyed. I think it looks nice just like this. It doesn't need any inking or anything. At some point I might add another embellishment or two. These are so fairy-like. I don't know if I want to work these in on here or not. I actually kind of like it though. Should I do it or think about it? I think I like it there to break up that line. It doesn't have to be that noticeable. Yeah, just for the fun of it, I'm going to stick these on here. And in the journal, I'm going to put this in backside down anyway, and I think I'll make it so it can kind of flip. So these will be pretty here. I don't even know what journal yet, but I gotta have a little stockpile of ephemera and embellishments because it'll really help me go a little faster creating. Ooh, this sticker is being really stubborn. It's not coming off of here. That's interesting. It's like it didn't get cut well. in manufacturing of it. I think I can still use it. It's just, wow, that really tore up. It's a good thing junk journaling can be a little tattered, because this is definitely going to be a little tattered. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll go over the whole thing with more Mod Podge. And we have another envelope. I'm going to have to weight it under a book or something to keep it from curling. But I do think it will work. Well, I guess I'm going to draw my decoupaging to an end. I have some almost finished projects to show you. So the envelope that was starting out as the vellum envelope, that's really hard to say. Excuse me. The flap ended up not working out, so it was this size, and then I ended up cutting it down, but it'll still work in a journal. And I just put these random little vellum flowers just to add a little chaos, because I think that's what it's doing. And so I'm going to probably put a little bit of a trim on that arch there. So that's not finished, but it is covered, and it covered pretty well. The flap did curl quite a bit though, because of it being vellum. And then I did a doily. The blue doily that I showed you earlier, I just put some tissue paper, and again there's some of that vellum that's curling. I have to put another layer of Mod Podge over that, but that'll be a pretty embellishment. And then this one that was on the tea-dyed parchment paper, I just decided I'm going to leave as a full journal page, folded in half. And then I'm going to, I might put a copy, put a sheet of tea-dyed paper for journaling on the inside, but it actually feels like you could write on this nicely. But I really like how this one turned out. I like the little random butterfly floating there. And then the other side is pretty interesting too. So I'm happy with how this one turned out. Even though this says it's a matte finish, it still has a little bit of a gloss. So I'm glad I didn't use the one with the glossy finish, because it'd be too shiny. And then the other one that was the parchment paper envelope that I covered, I've cut that one into 2 pieces, and I'm going to turn these into envelopes. So I had another piece. Where did it go? Here it is. So I think I'm going to cut this down and put a flap. So the back is kind of open, and I don't actually have to do anything. If I glue it down just on the 3 sides, it's really uneven though. So I'll have to trim these up and make them neat and tidy. I don't know if I want to put a flap. I might just leave these as a pocket, because a flap would cover up some of these words, and I really like that says Paris there. So anyway, these will make 2 nice journal pockets. This will make a nice 2-sided journal page. I did this really cute little glassine bag. It says remember, and it's just a vintage image, one of those Tim Holtz paper dolls, and then a paper doily on the back, and some of this vintage looking napkin. And when it dries, I'm gonna cover it one more time with one more coat, but that works. And then the one I was doing with the poppies, I'm not crazy about it, but I did mute it down a little bit with some gesso, and I used my poppy washi tape. And again, it's mounted on lace, but the lace is still wet, so you can't see it very well. and then the flap will turn over like that. If I find a little fabric flower that I think will work here, I'm gonna put it there. This one's too loud and I don't like the pink, so I was just rummaging through my flowers trying to find one that I could put right here. And if I don't find one, I think I'll just put a bow, seam binding bow or something, or a lace bow would be pretty too, but it needs a little something right there. But that's another pocket or envelope for a journal. So thanks for decoupaging with me. I was just having a little fun sticking everything together. Oh, and don't forget the one we did on fabric. That one turned out great. It feels good. It stuck down really well. And it'll make a great image for a journal page or a journal cover. So, decoupaging 101. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you again soon. Bye.